And welcome back to part 2 of What If Krillin Wished to be a Saiyan like Goku. Now, one quick correction from the last video. It's actually very fair, because I really didn't think on it very much. I said Krillin was probably going to get the same amount of multiplier on his power level for the training throughout the year as he did last time. And he is the strongest of the group. That's why I was actually he's leagues beyond the group at this point. It was at 750, so he was only going to get like the 8 times multiplier, like he did initially. And what I didn't really think and take into consideration is despite the fact it's the main title of the What If, he is a Saiyan. He is probably going to get at least a Zenkai boost here or there. Maybe not a significant one, because everyone he's training with is much weaker than him, so his rate of growth is actually going to be stunted a little bit. But he should still, in theory, get at least a Zenkai. So for the sake of argument, what the person, I can't remember who mentioned it, said, I think actually a 10 times multiplier is actually very apt. I think it's actually very legitimate, which actually puts his power level at about a 7,500, which, again, while it's not canon per se, I would put him theoretically at full power Nappa. In theory, that's the theoretical, if that's what he's able to do for himself. And if I'm remembering correctly, I had Piccolo at... He had 8 on his own. I think I had him at what did I have him at? I think I had him at about, it wasn't 10, it was more than that. It was like 15 or something. I think I had him at even 5,000. We'll just say even 5,000 for easy math. Everyone else had taken like a 10 times multiplier. Chaozu, I think I had at 800. Again, for easy math, I'm just going to put Yamcha at 1,800. And I know I had Tien at 2,500. And Goku would have been at 15,000, which means basically we bumped all the Kaioken's up by 1. So now, quickly, Krillin still does, has been living basically at Goku's house. He's been able to, eke out a nice living there, helping out the family. Someone's like, well, maybe he will train. Maybe there's no reason he can't train with Krillin. Well, actually, there kind of is. Chi-Chi ain't going to allow that. Gohan, the problem with any of these scenarios where Gohan doesn't get kidnapped by Piccolo is that there's unless it's the main main topic of the What If, where Gohan gets trained or something about Gohan has changed, there's no reason in story, there's no reason for Gohan to change. I know people get upset about that, but look, that's just the way it kind of turns out, especially if he doesn't show off that power. If he doesn't show off that power, then there's definitely no reason for it. If he does show off the power, Piccolo would still have to go through Krillin at this point to take Gohan with him, and that's not going to happen. The only justification would be that Krillin maybe wants to try to train him, and I don't see Krillin being a good trainer for Gohan. He needed Piccolo's training to toughen him up, admittedly. So, unfortunately, Gohan gets pushed to the wayside. But that's neither here nor there. We now move to the day of the Saiyans showing up. And they show up. Goku obviously gets wished back. Now, Goku, I think, makes it in time a lot faster. Or gets to Earth a lot faster. Because he's more than almost twice as strong as he is in the original. So he can just hightail it right out of there. So he's going to get there much earlier in the fight. But ultimately, the Saiyans show up. Vegeta and Nappa show up. They find where the gang is, and they go to the wasteland, and they're all waiting there. It's like, so you're the pitiful ones. Where's Kakarot anyway? Don't worry, he'll be here. He'll be here to see us beating your asses. Watch your mouth, cue ball. Hey, I'm not cue ball anymore, all right? I grew up pretty good head of hair now. Yeah, you heard Krillin. We're going to take you guys down, no problem. We don't need Goku's help for this. That's right. Yeah, and Piccolo's just like, they've all gotten pretty strong, particularly, and he looks at Krillin, particularly him. And then that's when, you're talking a big talk, runt. But really, what exactly do you think you could do? And that's where Vegeta notices that he has a tail. It's like, so what Raditz actually said was true. You are another Saiyan after all. Uh, yeah, let's go with that. I'm another Saiyan. What do you mean exactly? It's kind of complicated. The little monk, the little bastard, isn't an actual Saiyan. He isn't naturally one of you. He wished for that. Wish? Yeah, that's right. We heard about your Dragon Balls. So he could even. Oh, and Vegeta then hears about that and remembers the Dragon Balls. And is like, so wait, you wish to be like us? So you're nothing more than a little imposter insulting the race, are you? I gotta tell you, Vegeta, that pisses me off a little bit. It pisses me off too, Nappa. But let's see what the little fake Saiyans packing. And they, obviously, all their power levels suppressed. Like, please, we know those numbers are no good now, but they can hide the power levels. All right. Well, anyway, I want first crack at them. You can have all of them except for the runt. I want dibs on him. Ah, fine, but I get to go first. Yeah, if you get involved before, if you get involved in Nappa's fight before it's our turn, you'll be dealing with me, shorty. Oh, look who's talking. Look who's talking, Widow's Peak. Oh, I'm going to enjoy this. Say, all right then, who's first? And obviously Yamcha, Tien, and I think Yamcha, Tien, and Chaozu try to take on Piccolo's kind of sitting out on the sidelines just a little bit, even though he is strong enough to take on Nappa. And they're struggling hard. He's like, you're not, but he just, boom, you're not worth my time. What about you? And then Piccolo's like, maybe I can be worth your, maybe I can not be worth your time, because you're not worth my time. Boom, you got time for me? And then, he's going toe to toe and actually beating down on Nappa pretty hard. He's a full 1,000 stronger than him power level wise. And then that's where, Yamcha, Tien, they're getting ready for, final attacks. And finally, Piccolo punched him straight to the ground. Ma Senkapu, special beam cannon! Blast it. Yeah, Nappa's able to dodge, but unfortunately, he's like, huh? Got you! Shinji-Geku! Yamcha, Kamehameha! They're much stronger than their canon counterparts. And Tien's blast did singe Nappa quite badly. Not like he didn't get burned, but it's like Nappa really had to block the blast. And this Tien is very much stronger. Plus Kamehameha, Nappa just blast. They try to counter the blast, but their combined power level is stronger than Nappa's. So they ultimately overcome Nappa. He gets flying back. He's crashed into a mountain. It's like, well, that goes that, or well, that's the end of him. And then and Nappa's coming out. Of course, Nappa's now pretty effed up. Just, you. Take it easy, Nappa. Focus. I'm gonna tear you apart. Nappa powers up to his full power. Again, we do know that the 4,000 isn't Nappa's full power. He does power up against Goku in his fight, so we know that isn't his full power. And so he powers up, and now they're all on the back foot saying, you're mine. And Vegeta's just like, I'm tired of waiting. And just smacks Krillin around. Now, Krillin would have been able to actually probably beat Nappa. He can't beat Vegeta. Now, he can, just like Goku, he can kind of hold his own, but he's not even half as strong as Vegeta. So he's really just doing the best he can. And he just grabs, Krillin says, tell me, have you evolved past this yet? Actually, and all of a sudden Krillin just gets a Destructiveness ray. He's like, I have. And he's like, oh. And he just fires a Destructiveness, cuts clean through the armor, and actually I think slices his shoulder. So Vegeta's arm kind of just goes, you! And just backhands Krillin. You are dead. And just as, everyone's really getting beat down, I think even Chaozu and Krillin are about to be killed. Particularly Chaozu. Like, Chaozu still is no match here. Just then, all of them who can feel powerless feel it's like, well, looks better now than never, I suppose. Goku. Hey, man. Krillin, you're okay. It's like, oh, yeah, of course, just could have been better. Hang on, guys, I'm here. Wait, Vegeta says, yes, it would seem Kakarot's here to play. And, he's got senzu beans, and he hands them out to the people, everyone who needs them. And, Krillin gets a nice Zenkai from that. I would say Krillin's power now is probably at even 10,000. We know Piccolo can get micro boosts, but it wouldn't be anything significant. So, I appreciate what you guys have been doing. I'll take it from here. So you're Vegeta, and you're the Saiyans. They're Vegeta and Nappa. Nappa's the ball one. So you're Vegeta and Nappa. Gonna give you one chance. Leave now. And Vegeta, despite still being technically stronger than Goku right now, Kaioken notwithstanding, he knows his arm. Like, remember, Krillin's attack is basically a buzzsaw blade, and it cleaved right into his shoulder. Like, his shoulder, he's holding his shoulder there right now. It's very possible the damn thing could fall off if he's not careful. It's like, what do you really think you could take me? Hassan, Goku, Kakarot, and Goku powers up to his full 15,000. They don't have scouters anymore, obviously. But they're on the ground. Vegeta goes, he's still kind of able to his arm, so he kind of picks it up. And he just, what's going on, Vegeta? What does it say? His power level's 15,000! 15,000? No way! And Nappa knows his own power level very well, so does Vegeta. Nappa knows this guy is like twice as strong as I am, at least. He could wipe the floor with me. And Vegeta, though he knows his power level is overall higher, he's severely injured. He's got to actually make it, like, even if, Goku and him or Vegeta and him, or Nappa and him go into, like, Great Ape, he's still going to be a Great Ape with an arm about to fall off, and Nappa's Great Ape isn't going to be enough because because he looks at Krillin like, he still has his tail, whereas Kakarot doesn't. After all, Nappa! And Vegeta is doing the thing he doesn't want to do, but in this case, he can't beat these guys the way. If Krillin hadn't hit his arm, he'd still want to take on Goku. He'd still feel comfortable doing that. But the fact is, he can't fight like that, at least not effectively. And he's pretty sure Kakarot's probably hiding something up his sleeve. So he does the one thing he doesn't want to do. We're leaving Nappa. What? Are you sure? We can't fight them like this. But and so Goku being Goku's letting them lead, get their ships. Like, this isn't over. Count on it. And so on the way back, they realize Vegeta, even if we get stronger, even if we recover and get Zenkai's not an actual term. We should note that right now. Zenkai isn't actually a term in the series. It's a term that the fans have created to justify the big increases of strength they get after recovering. But for the sake of and storytelling, we'll say that they do have a term for it. Even if we were to get a Zenkai, between him and the short one, we wouldn't be able to take them on. There's another way to get our wish, Nappa. There was a Namekian there. The Namekians created the Dragon Balls, after all. So why don't we just give the Namekians a visit instead? And so they recover. Nappa and Vegeta both get Nappa and Vegeta are at what Vegeta's canon level is. For Vegeta, 24,000. Whereas Nappa, I do believe, is around his 10,000 as well. Now, this poses a very interesting problem in terms of growth now. Because at this point, they've all gotten pretty strong. And they're almost stronger than their original versions. But Goku, they're not on Namek. They don't even have the Saiyan pod to study. So, I mean, I think Bulma studied Kami's ship, or Dr. Breeze studied Kami's ship. That's what they did to make the gravity chamber ship, Capsule Corp 1. But, yeah, because they're not going to Namek, they have no need to go to Namek right now. They don't. So now they're kind of spending the time, just keeping up the strength, getting stronger, and, waiting things out. Meanwhile, Vegeta and Nappa go to Namek, and ultimately they try to get their wish, and it fails because they don't know how to speak Namekian. Nappa also, I think, does end up getting killed. I don't, because he just can't take on Zarbon or Dodoria. He can't even take on Qui. So during one of the interactions where Nappa's getting one of the Dragon Balls, he gets taken out. Ultimately, it's Vegeta trying to figure out what he can do to get his wish, and he realizes that he can't make the wish. But that realization dawns on him where if he can't get the wish, Frieza can't get the wish either. So after he gets basically all the Dragon Balls together, he fails. He just laughs it off and decides to get out of there while he can. So he just goes off and just decides to kind of train on his own, see if he can find other ways to immortality. There's still the Earth Dragon Balls, so he figures what he's going to do is he's going to train for the time being, get stronger, because I do think a scenario happens where Nappa's dead, he gets taken out by Zarbon, so they heal him, and he comes back stronger. So he's around 30 in terms of his power level, 30,000. So he's now out in the galaxy kind of training, getting stronger. And he still has his tail. Big thing there is he still has his tail. So in theory, he could have created the false moon and could have ran over all of Frieza's forces, including Ginyu's. But then Frieza could have easily taken on Grade 8 Vegeta as he is. So then Frieza and his remaining cohorts finally get the Dragon Balls. The Ginyu's get the Dragon Balls. And yeah, Nappa's not going to give them the pass or give them the ability to use the Dragon Balls. Guru isn't, so Guru passes. And yeah, there's no Dragon Balls. They basically just end Namek right there. It's like, well, this planet is useless. Just blow it up. Well, honestly, without Namekians there, maybe they just figure, because Dende's also dead too, because there's no one there to save him. Maybe they just figure, I'm sick of this planet. Oh, wait, Lord Frieza. Without all these pesky little inhabitants on there now, it's pretty much just a free market. Mm-hmm. That's a good point there. Perpetual day, no night. Not bad little atmosphere, to be honest. The surroundings aren't terrible. Quite peaceful, actually, for a nice little vacation treat. You can make quite the mint. Lord Vegeta. And we save the cost of men to try to wipe out the population. It's a win-win. I like the way you think, Ginyu. So Namek gets to stay, although it's pretty much now uninhabited, at least in terms of a sentient or humanoid population. And so now it's just kind of a lull period. Like, eventually they're like, there must be Dragon Balls. So let's see another way to figure it out. And eventually they do learn that Vegeta and Nappa had gone to Earth to find Dragon Balls as well, because they had heard about them. And maybe these Dragon Balls would be more accessible. There's one way to find out. Let's head to Earth. So, where do we catch up in terms of Earth's storyline here? Well, it's been a little while. I will say this: it's probably been close to a couple months now since Goku and the gang. Goku's come back. Nothing's really happened. I mean, they train a little bit. Nothing serious. No extreme growth. I imagine Krillin and Goku, though, because they live together and they train and farm and all that stuff. They're still able to push each other a little bit. Like, Goku's probably now at Vegeta's power level. Krillin's probably now at around 12,000. So they got a little bit of increase there, certainly. But ultimately, they get they get a message from King Kai. Kami, he's coming. Frieza. There's nothing we can do. Even if Goku could use a Kaioken 10,000, Kaioken or a Kaioken. Well, Goku has the Kaioken. Goku, even if he could do a Kaioken times 20, you would not be able to take him on. It's like, whoa, he's that strong? And they're just thinking, how much time do we have? Given his time, you maybe have a month at most. Well, actually, Vegeta and Nappa took a year. Their ships were smaller, though, had smaller engines. And we don't know in what part of the galaxy Frieza's at. Let's say 6 months. Let's because more engines, stronger engines, larger engines. Larger engines. But we don't know where they are in the galaxy. Even if they're at the same distance, that cuts the time now. So, maybe 6 months at most. Oh, man. And so, we're going to... And what are we going to do? So they get the training. Everyone trains as hard as they can. In 6 months' time, 5.5 months have gone by. Goku and Krillin have certainly gotten stronger. I'd say Goku is at least twice as strong. If you want to add a Zenkai in there, we'll go 3 times as strong. Well, for easy numbers, let's say 50,000. I'd say that's pretty reasonable. Krillin, because he's the weaker of the two and probably had better Zenkais and just gotten a bigger boost, he's probably rocking around 30,000. Now let's say 40,000. Piccolo also, after being referred, hearing about this, he's probably honestly at a good 30,000 because he's putting himself through intense training. The gang is probably, I'd say Tien's maybe at 5,000, Yamcha's at about 4,000, Chaozu's maybe at 1,500. But they're like well, Kinkai, where do you think we stand? Goku also probably has been able to now hook into at least at minimum he can do a Kaioken times 5 with no problem, and probably push it to times 10, treating it kind of like it was for the 20, like harsh on his body, but still he could do it. It's like, as strong as you've all become, you're still no match for him. At best you could maybe take on his forces, but Frieza, his power is unbelievable. Seriously? Oh man, what are we gonna do? And finally Goku's like, well, there is one thing we got left. And Kami, because they're on the lookout right now, it's like, are you sure about this method, Goku? There's no guarantee for it. And you remember what happened the last time you did it. It's the only choice we have to get the training we need and the time for it, and the amount of time we have left. And Piccolo's just, what the hell are you talking about? The hyperbolic time chamber. And they explain it. Piccolo should also mention right now, because there's just this huge gap now, Piccolo tries to keep up with them, and he kind of can, too. Like, Piccolo is no slouch. He can give them a solid fight. That damn Saiyan Zenkai DNA, though, it really helps keeps him in check. And the longer he spends around them, training with them, hanging out with them, the more he does mellow out. Well, I don't think we'll ever see the Piccolo we see in the later parts of the series. I don't think we'll ever see that. However, I do think we'll see Piccolo. We do see Piccolo as a generally chill dude. Like he's a chill warrior for what it is, and he no longer has aspirations of ruling the world. So they all ask who's going in with who. Krillin says, me and Goku will be training together. It's like, right, training together. I was like, Chaozu and I will go to you. And it's like, well, and then Yamcha's like, I guess at least you and me, huh? It's like, I don't need his help. I don't need to be training with you. Well, come on. And Yamcha actually puts it, we both know it's going to be better for us to train together than apart. It's like, whatever. And so they all go in one at a time. Well, training outside. Like I said, they have half a month left. So they have 2 weeks left till the Frieza arrives, allegedly. So Tien and Chaozu go in, and they spend the full year in there. This is always a problem for Tien because when he's training with Chaozu, his basic training methods aren't pushing him that hard, and Chaozu just isn't that strong. So this does hinder his growth. It legitimately does. I will say, though, he could still get an easy 10 times multiplier. No problem putting him at the 50,000 Goku is at the beginning. With Chaozu, honestly, maybe going all the way up to 10,000 if he's really pushing himself hard. Because it's going to be better, more advantageous for Chaozu than it is Tien. And again, what really hurts Tien here, I think, for growth is going to be that discrepancy in power and just kind of using the same training methods he normally does. Although he probably amps it up. That's why I'm giving him a full 10. Then Yamcha and Piccolo go in. Now, Piccolo was at 25,000. Yamcha's at 4,000. So there's a big discrepancy between them. Plus, I think Piccolo's going to do the Vegeta thing and train on his own a lot, too. So Piccolo is probably going to get a good, solid 15 times, I'd say. Which would put him at 125 plus 2, which will put him at 375. Now, Yamcha, though, does have the advantage of going up against a stronger opponent, which means he's got a greater wall to climb. I see him getting a full 20 times, which would put him then at the neighborhood of 80,000. Nowhere near strong enough to go take on Piccolo in a straight fight, but he gets a solid boost. And then you get Krillin and Goku going in. And I think that to help out the training, I do think Krillin is Goku is able to teach Krillin how to do Kaioken. So where does that put them in power wise? That's the big question because they I don't think you're going to hit Super Saiyan, although I think pushing their limits does kind of like they focus their energy with like Kaioken and stuff. I think at points they their hair maybe starts to like kind of like flicker yellow and they're wondering what it is, but whatever. Throughout I think because they're also so close to power now, oh boy, they are probably going to go 10 year, a full year at 10 times gravity, intense environment, hardcore growing at each other, plus Zenkais. Holy crap! I think Goku's still going to be the stronger one. Because whenever Krillin gets a Zenkai and outmatches Goku, that means Goku's going to get a Zenkai and outmatch Krillin. Whew. I think, no joke. I think a 50 times multiplier, because we saw just the giant gap they took with the Cell game, the Cell Saga. Like Vegeta couldn't in Super Saiyan even take on Android 18, and then he was taking semi-perfect Cell, no problem. That was a huge multiplier. So especially at these low levels right now, I would be willing to say Krillin gets a 50 times. Krillin gets a 50 times, which puts him at 2 million. Goku, I think, goes a little beyond that. I think, in terms of, we're not going to go multiply. I think I'm just going to give him a solid number. I think he is at a little actually beyond his Namek levels at this point, at 3.5 million. I don't think he's a full 4 million, but 3.5. Krillin and him can both do a Kaioken times 10 without any problem and push it to the 20 if they need to. So right now they are both, they're least beyond anything else, and everyone can come out and sense the power like, holy crap. And so now they're like, I think we're ready. You better be, because he'll be here soon. Yes, I was mistaken. He'll be here in a day now. I was off by a few weeks. He'll be here in a day. You better be ready, Goku. We'll be ready. Right. And so they are waiting now for Frieza to show up. And that is where we're going to leave part 2. But thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Hit that bell if you want to be notified. Thanks for watching. I'll see you folks next time. Later.